Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 158. I am back as your host. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by I guess you were the host, Samson, for the last couple episodes. It's Samson. How you doing? Is it weird to be on the other side now?
No, it feels good. Feels normal. Hi, Mike. Miss you. But I'm not going to call you Mike, I don't think.
No. I think you called Mike Dan a few times.
I was 2 for 2 at least, once on each pod.
You did it in both. Because obviously I edited it. When I went through, I noticed it at least twice. But maybe even more.
It's just natural.
It's just natural. But yeah, first of all, thanks to Live Open Mike. He's actually sick at the moment. I think he's got COVID, so hope he gets well soon, of course. COVID still a thing. But thanks so much for obviously stepping in. And obviously Mike's most welcome to come on the show. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed his presence and enjoyed his comments, and he plays a lot of games just like you. So, you know, yes. that what we've been playing is always a long section.
It was a long one.
Yeah, always, and then obviously you're hosting. Do you feel good when you were hosting? Did you got really into it in the end?
I feel like I felt better. I felt like it felt more comfortable the second time for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. But now you're on this side. Samson, if you ever want to host, feel free. Feel free to take the reins. Okay, so we have lots to cover in today's show. We have a bunch of news, obviously what we've been playing. I've obviously been away for a month, but since I've been traveling for a month, I didn't bring my Quest with me, so it's not like I've had a lot of playtime. But I've been back for a couple of days, so I have had a little bit to play through. But before we get into the show, just quick housekeeping. The Discord. I see a few people recently have joined the old Discord, maybe from old links in past podcast episodes. That Discord is completely read-only right now, so you can't post anything in there. There's a new link. Check out it in the actual podcast, in the new podcasts. I won't go back and do and update the link in the old ones.
I've been messaging people in it. It's
yeah. So
just link them back.
If you're in there and you can't type anything, that's why you're in the old Discord. And obviously, if you like the show and everything, support us on Patreon, chuck us $1 to keep the lights on and pay for our games, because it's a very expensive couple months now with so many titles out and coming, and we'll get onto that in a second. Samson, before we get into any news, I want to go over something that I bought and actually came today. I bought the Meta Open facial interface.
Nice.
So I'm showing it on the camera right now, obviously for audio listeners. If you don't remember what this one is, it's basically like the standard interface that you get with the Quest, but it just has a few cutouts in there. So it feels like you're not wearing a facial interface in a way. If you've ever used like a Halo strap, like a Bobo Halo strap or something without the facial interface, it kind of feels like that with a bit more support. So the reason why I bought it. The reason why I bought it is because I prefer the open facial interfaces. I know it kills the immersion. I've been playing a lot of Batman with this open interface, and it does take a little bit to get used to, because obviously, especially if you're in a room where you can see the lights from like the kitchen or something like that, it just throw you off. If you got 2 walls either side of you, then it doesn't really matter. You can block it out. But if there's actually a light source on the left, it is kind of distracting, and it just takes some time to get used to. But the reason why is that I get quite a lot of eye fatigue when I'm in VR, especially playing something like Batman, which is quite intense. I don't know if I'm not blinking enough or anything like that, but I remember when having the Quest Pro, having with the open design, I could use it for longer. So that's why I got it. And it works just as inspected. It comes with actually 2 facial straps on the front. The facial strap,
It's like
the
padded
cover
one, right?
is Velcro. Yeah, the padding is Velcro. It comes with 2. One's thinner, one's thicker. I think the only reason why I'd want the thinner one is to maybe get a little bit closer to the lenses. I changed it to the thick one. I find it a bit more comfortable, but I might just interchange. I only got it earlier today, so I've only played, a limited time.
I've been using it a bit too.
You bought it too?
Yeah.
What do you think of it? Oh, have you already told everyone how you think of it?
No, I don't think I've talked much about it. I've talked a little bit about it on the Discord, but I do like it. I like it for Walkabout, though I do find if you're like I have lights above me, so in Walkabout I'm looking down, and then sometimes there's a glare. But on the whole, I do like it for something like that. Or obviously any mixed reality, though it is kind of interesting and a weird feeling to see your arms like link up with your virtual arm a little more extensively. And sometimes you see where it goes off. But as far as comfort, I do find it to be quite comfortable.
It's very comfortable. Yeah, I actually, for some reason, find it a little bit more comfortable than the standard head strap.
Yeah.
It makes no sense because it is the exact same padding and everything like that. But I don't know if it's because the way it's designed, it gives you a bit more give. I don't know if you've noticed as well. I'll show it in the
flexible.
Yeah, I'll show in the video one, but at the top, there is some, actually, I don't know if you can really tell on the camera, but there is some flex. So as soon as you put your head in, it pushes down. So there's some flex on there. So that might be the reason why it's a bit more comfortable. Also, in terms of dimensions, comparing it to the actual standard strap and such, they're pretty much the exact same. So you shouldn't really lose any FOV using the open, even though it kind of feels like it when you're wearing it because you can see the sides. So it feels like you're looking into a screen rather than completely into the lenses.
Right.
But just judging from the sizes, you shouldn't actually lose any FOV. And I think it just takes some getting used to. You are right though. When I was playing Batman earlier, I'd just stand and I could see my shoulder, and then I could see Batman's arm which is in a way kind of cool. But thing is, as soon as you're into the game, you kind of block it out automatically. So it's not for everyone. It is perfect for mixed reality, and obviously if you are doing any productivity and such. But if you're feeling like you have got eye fatigue from VR use, then give it a shot at least. It is maybe on the pricey end. I think it's $40 US, but honestly, it's something that I probably would leave on the Quest. I think I want to keep the standard one handy just so I can switch back if needed, but I think I'm going to keep it on because I don't do too much movie watching. I think that's the only reason why I'd go back to the old one, to be honest. But it is nice. And then obviously when you're playing your horror games later on, it being Halloween and all that, you don't feel too as scared because you can see the surroundings.
Don't use it, or I wouldn't use it outside.
No, it's too much light. It's too much light bleed. Yeah. But like I said, you can get away with it inside. So yeah, that's the open head strap, which is really nice. The other thing I was going to mention before we get into the news is that Samson, the backlog is growing. We've got big games that have been released. We've got Batman, obviously, that came out in October. We've got Metro Awakening, which is right around the corner, and we've both got access to it early, and obviously we can't speak anything about it until it comes out, but that's another thing to play. Blade and Sorcery just got its 1.0 update, which I have got a copy of that too, to play. I haven't even touched Maestro yet. I heard you talking about Maestro on the last podcast and such, and I haven't touched it yet. I've got it there, it's downloaded, but it's just the backlog. And then what was it, V for Vendetta just came out last week as well, and that review.
No, that's the movie.
What's the game?
Vendetta Forever, I believe. Something like that, maybe.
That's true. You can tell I'm not reading from a script here. Vendetta Forever, that came out last week, and that reviewed very well as well. That game is very similar to like a Dead Second. It's like a time crisis kind of where you have to just get to the end of the mission as quick as possible, with all your combos and all that stuff. It looks like a very simple game, but it looks kind of fun to use, with all the combos and different weapons, and you can do melee as well. So that's another game on the backlog. The backlog continues to grow.
I played the demo. It's pretty fun, but I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, Samson. There's a lot of games. It's a perfect time to be a VR gamer right now. Like, it's the perfect time.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Did you get your second Quest 3, by the way?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be trying to give it to my mom.
Ooh. Did you listen to the pod?
No.
Shout out to Samson's mom. Maybe she'll be a Patreon one day and support a child. But yeah, okay. So let's get into the VR news. Samson, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things on the list here. So let's start off with Behemoth. Behemoth just dropped a brand new trailer. It's focusing more on story, like the human combat aspect of it as well. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that, Samson, but just a few.
I'm avoiding all the content.
You are?
I'm interested. I want to play the game.
I'll spoil a few things, but you don't have to see it because obviously the podcast and people might want to hear about it. But a few takeaways that I saw, if you want to check out that trailer, obviously later on, the bow and arrow combat looked really cool, really satisfying. Bow and arrow combat's one of my favorite combat methods in just games in general. I just find it very satisfying to like get that target, headshots and all that on a bow and arrow. Yeah, so it looks really good. The weapons in general look brutal. Like there's one weapon with, it's not nails, but kind of like spikes or nails coming out of it, and it goes straight into someone's face. And it looks very similar to what Walking Dead was like in terms of how good the melee weapons and how satisfying the melee weapons were, but just a bit more gory. I think with the zombies or the walkers in Walking Dead, it obviously it's zombies and such, but this being like real people, quote unquote, it's
more combat.
Yeah, you see all the blood, and it's a bit more. You can decapitate people with your fist, for goodness sake.
Punch.
Yeah, it looks like there's a part in the trailer. I'm sorry, spoiling it here, Samson, but there's a part in the trailer where it looks like you get like a charge on your like right hand or so, and then you can use that punch, and it completely decapitates the person that you're fighting. You can also chop them up as well, like you can slice them from the midsection and the whole body parts. It looks kind of like Blade and Sorcery-esque. What we also learned here as well is that the grapple hook, we know there's a grapple hook in the game, but you can use that to pull items and use them as weapons as well. So you can pull things from afar. You can also steal weapons from enemies, so they'll drop them or go in the air and you can catch them and such. And then I think we've seen this one already, but your main blade, you can throw it and it will come back to you, kind of like an axe in God of War, if anyone's played that on the PlayStation. As well. So a ton of fun combat styles in there, and it looks like fighting the human combat. Humans are going to be something that you probably do the most, and the behemoths might be more of like the boss missions, but looks fun. It's a game that was probably, out of all the big titles coming out this year, this one and probably Alien are probably two on the lower end of my list, to be honest. But this trailer got me straight in. It looks fantastic, Samson. And I know you can't really talk too much about it, but it looks excited. Great. Yeah, December 5th. That game comes out December 5th. So I'm not sure. Do you know if they've announced like how long this game's going to be? Because it looks like it's going to be a big title, to be honest.
I do not know. But I mean, the Saint and Sinner games were 12 to 15 hours or so?
Yeah, the first one's I think it's like 10 hours. The second one I think 16 or something like that.
I imagine at least that long.
Yeah, it'll probably be at least that long. I'm also obviously the trailer's probably running on PC and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Are you gonna play this on Steam? Is that the idea here?
Joe no say. I don't know. It says something in this article about the confirmed date being for PSVR 2 and MetaQuest, and doesn't mention the PC VR version. So
So the PC VR version's coming soon.
could come later. Yeah,
Fair enough. Would you get it on PlayStation?
yeah, most likely.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Second game on the list, another big hitter, the second biggest hitter, I guess, in December is Alien Rogue Incursion. I just want to mention this one. This game's out December 19th, so just in time for Christmas. This some people have had hands-on. Upload VR had a hands-on. The PC VR version is what they had. You can go read their article on their website. It's a great article, but going through exactly how it was. And there's a little video in there as well. But a few takeaways from there. It was on PC VR. It looks phenomenal. Like it looks like a photo in terms of all these different images and what they're showing. It looks incredible, and I'm very jealous because obviously the Quest 3 version is not going to look anywhere near that. And it looks incredibly and so immersive. But I guess as I'm a gamer now who just plays with an open head strap, I don't really care too much. But it looks so. It's a big focus on action. This is a big thing that we needed to know because Alien Isolation, which is the game on flat screen that a lot of people love, that's the complete opposite. Where there's hardly any combat in there. It's you don't really have a gun, I don't think, or I can't remember anyway, but it's not the primary focus. It's more you just, exploring and hiding away from the alien. This one's purely action, and it's like the guns in terms of the weaponry you have, you shouldn't really run out of bullets. There should be ammunition everywhere. You should always be armed. And just a quote here from someone at the game here. He says, a big inspiration was the third act of the second Aliens film called Aliens. And this is for people who have seen Aliens. It's where Ripley straps up, locks and loads and goes down into the hive and starts kicking ass. We wanted to bring that experience to games and VR in particular. So it's just purely gun combat, action, a game. And also just a quick thing that they mentioned in the article. So in trailers that you might have seen, there's a tracker that's a spot if there's nearby aliens or any other life forms on there. And you're obviously holding that tracker. That tracker is something that you actually hold. So, if you want to dual wield or if you want to grab your assault rifle with two hands for greater accuracy, you have to put that tracker down. So in the article, what they said is they had to drop the tracker on like a barrel or something, then shoot the alien and such, and then pick up the tracker, which I think this is a cool idea instead of having it like attached to the gun and such, because it makes it even more scary that, sometimes you might have to just drop it and you don't know where they're coming from and such. Very clever. I'm wondering if maybe the flashlight is going to be very similar, where you can use the flashlight with one hand, but you can't just mount it on yourself or anything like that. It'll be very
you'll always have to hold them to use them.
Yeah, and maybe when you have to put the flashlight down and hold the gun, and then that you get a little bit of light, but it's nothing compared to obviously having the flashlight. Be very interesting.
Is this a roguelike?
I don't think so. I know it's called Alien Rogue Incursion, but I think this is just a like a linear title. That's all. Samson, have you had any interest in this game at all? I know you're not massive into horror and such.
An incy bit. Definitely the lowest on my list of below Behemoth for sure.
Yeah. I think I actually this was the lowest on my list out of everything, to be honest. But the hands-on actually got me really interested. That it is just full-on action and such. It's an interesting way to do things. And
I definitely prefer that to a straight horror game.
Yeah, at least you have a gun in your hand and you can. I think this is the game that I don't know if I'd buy straight away. I don't know if it will be. I'm hoping it will be good. For some reason, I got a sneaky suspicion that it's going to just be. It would be like After the Fall, where the experience is on PC or PlayStation VR, and the Quest versions might suffer big time from it. I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll see.
These are new times, man. It's Quest 3.
Yeah, that's true. Quest 3, yes, brand new times. So yeah, that's Alien Rogue Incursion. Next one, another big hitter. Blade and Sorcery, Nomad. Obviously, this game has been out for I think 2 years now on the Quest system. Obviously, it's a PC VR title. First, the Nomad version is very much a skinned down version on Quest. It's by no means has all the bells and whistles. And then the PC one is until now. So it finally gets its 1.0 updates. So I've got a copy of this one. They were kind enough to send it me. I just haven't gone around to it yet. But now it features, for those who know, for Blade and Sorcery fans, the Citadel map, skill trees, and Crystal Hunt, which is a progression-based mode. These were all missing before in the Quest version and are now in, which for Blade and Sorcery fans is pretty impressive that they've got all of this in. There's still issues, according to the Upload VR article, there's still issues with it in terms of like the draw distances, and there's there's less enemies on screen as well.
Mhm.
I've not played it yet, but I'm thinking it's kind of similar to Assassin's Creed, where you look to the far and all the enemies are kind of running in stop motion, and it's kind of weird and
Do
such.
you do you think eventually they'll have a Quest 3 update?
They should do, because they don't right now, right? This is for Quest 2 and Quest 3. There's no specific version for Quest 3, so I hope so. I hope so. It's the same with Assassin's Creed. Like I don't know if Ubisoft has kind of just disappeared from that project now, but it would have been
I think
nice
they'd
if
be
they.
struggling.
Yeah, they weren't really happy with the reception, was they? Even though it was a really good game, but the sales, I think they've
Yeah,
just dumped it. To
not
be
great.
honest, no, I think it's I think it's
Well, not
someone's.
great for them in their eyes.
Yeah,
Pretty good for a VR game, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Have you played the Nomad version on Quest?
No, I have not yet. I have not yet. It does sit in that backlog though, as it was also sent to me.
Yeah.
But when we get to what we've been playing, it's not like I've been sitting on my hands.
Yeah, exactly. This is the one of that type of game, right? That's you see a lot on YouTube and TikTok and such. It's one of those games that still gets a lot of hits and such because of
Fun.
how outrageous physics it
Yeah,
is. Can you do mods on the Nomad version? Do you know?
I do not know.
I don't think you can, which is the biggest thing about it, right? But I'm not sure. Let's just
I
find out
mean,
now whilst we're
I
on
never
this chat.
really used mods when I played it, and I had a lot of fun. But the mods definitely add levels, like the Star Wars or whatever.
Okay, yeah, you can do mods on the Quest. You can do mods. It's a little bit there is ways to do it. I don't know exactly, but I'm looking online here, and a lot of people are saying this is the guide to do it and such like that. So there is a way to do mods, which is the biggest thing for it. So you know what? I'm gonna see if I can get like a Star Wars mod on it, because I know you can do that on the PC version, but can you do it?
There
It's
you go.
maybe it's like VR chat where certain mods only work for PC or certain worlds and such. But yeah. Anyway, Samson, moving on. Let's get away from games. Well, we're always going to talk about games, but let's get away from individual games. Steam Link for Quest now supports hand tracking. So if you've got any Steam games like Maestro on Steam that also are released on there, you can now use hand tracking for it. And also, it will use it for any Steam VR's skeletal input system. So technically, you can do hand tracking with Half-Life Alyx, but he can't press any buttons or anything like that, so it wasn't meant this way. On that though, sounds do you use Steam Link at all?
I do not.
No, do you just
Strictly
do?
virtual desktop.
Did you ever try it or not?
I did try it. It did the foveated rendering, and I just didn't like that. But I
Mm.
do. I knew some people use it, like it.
Favorite rendering in
But
terms of like it will blur up and down, and you can kind of see it unless you look.
yeah, yeah.
You couldn't turn that off at all. That was
I
just
think
a.
you could turn it off, but it just did it, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it look foveated rendering when you don't have eye tracking just doesn't look great. It's some games do it better,
virtual
but
desktop works perfectly well for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's move on swiftly from that. Are you an NBA fan, Samson?
Yeah, I've been meaning to hop into one of these. I mean, I'm not a big NBA fan to say the
Fair enough.
least, but I do want to watch a courtside game for a little bit at the very least. They're free, and it is a cool experience.
Yeah, so 52 NBA games will be streamed in 180 degrees VR for free. So it's not the best being in 180 degrees VR and such. It's not like full immersion, but it's free. So
As
this
of
is
release, there's a game tomorrow, Saturday, November 2nd.
Yes, Golden State Warriors versus Houston Rockets at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Now, it's officially available through the X Stadium app, which is
Nailed
Stadium
it.
just with an X instead of S. However, that's technically only available in the US, but as I've found out before, and I've done it before, if you download a VPN onto your Quest, and you can do so by side loading it through SideQuest. If you don't know how to do that, just Google it. It's a very easy guide. You can change it to, you change the settings to US, and then you can download Xtadium even if you're not in the US, but it just won't work. But it will work just fine if you've got your VPN on. You can. I've actually not tried a live game, but I've tried like the highlights and such, and they all work absolutely fine through there. So I have no reason why the live game shouldn't work, but maybe that's something for me to try on November 2nd as well, being in Canada. But the cool thing about it is that you can, virtually sit down with friends, you can change camera angles, and you don't have to watch it in the 180 degree view. You can watch it in like a big 2D screen with maybe stats on the side and such, similar to all the marketing from like Apple Vision Pro and such. It works quite well when I've seen the highlights and such. So definitely check that out and see if the VPN works. Fun fact though, if you do the VPN, that means you'll also be able to use do the VPN. That means you'll also be able to use Supernatural, which is only available in the US and Canada, and that the VPNs work.
There you go.
You didn't hear it from me, but it works.
They didn't hear it from me. I'm in the States.
Yeah, you're fine. You didn't need a VPN. All right, Samson. A little bit of finally non-gaming stuff. This is an interesting one. So basically, there was a focus group listing recently, and this was spotted by a Twitter user or an X user called Luna, who normally spots a lot of the features coming out before they actually come out to Quest. But it's called Project Pismo, and what the title was is the opportunity to test new tech on site at the San Francisco Bay Area. And this posting's now been taken down. But what we know already, and we discussed this on the podcast in the summertime, Pismo is the code name of Quest 4. And I think when we did that podcast as well, there was those two versions. There was Pismo Low and Pismo High, which is basically Quest 4 and Quest 4S, which looked like what they're going to release them together this time instead of being a year apart, a year apart like they did this one, which is meant to arrive in 2026 as well. But in the listing, it says that it describes a wearable tech device which will record their facial expressions and eye movements as well as voice capture. So a huge hint there that the Quest 4 could have face and eye tracking.
I do think it will, for sure.
Do you think, obviously we'll talk about this in 2026, but do you think it would just be on the higher end Quest 4 than
I think it'll be on both.
Yeah.
Because then it's got to be on both in order for developers to be able to use it.
Yeah, that's true. Just like the mixed reality, essentially.
Exactly.
I wonder where the cost savings come then. Like, is once again, does the Quest 4S still use the old lenses? Potentially.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah. In 2026, the old lenses still live on, potentially. That'll be interesting. Yeah, there's got to be something, right, different between the Quest 4 and Quest 4S So if they both have face and eye tracking, then yeah, something's got to give. Something's got to give. But that's interesting. But as we just mentioned there with foveated rendering, like this is the next big step. Having eye tracking, so you can do foveated rendering. So for people who don't know, foveated rendering is something that's available on the PlayStation VR 2, where basically it looks at where your eyes are. So where you're looking, it renders that scene. So anywhere where your eyes aren't looking won't be rendered. It will be blurry, saving obviously power, GPU and such. So having eye tracking in there, you can basically put all the power to where you're actually looking at, so you can get more out of the chip I guess on the presumed Quest 4, which will have eye tracking. So it's an absolute boost because you can basically boost performances big time in there.
Yeah.
So it's a very important.
There's a lot of cool things. Yeah, a lot of cool things you can do with it. One of my friends, Livinator, he's got the Quest Pro, and when we're in VR chat, some of his avatars, he can move his eyebrows, look cool places, stick his tongue out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It adds like a whole nother level of immersion.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And then just a final fun news story before we get into some game updates. So Mighty Coconut, they've been on fire recently. They've published their Pocket Edition iOS app, which has been topping the charts. Their newest course dropped last week, 8-Bit Lair, which we'll talk about in part 2. Now, friend of the show and modeling lead, as Samson cracks open a beer, Edward Felix.
Irish crickets.
Edward Felix, who's been on the show a couple of times, he spent the weekend, basically, sometime earlier this year, making an 8-bit arcade version of Walkabout. And you can actually play it in Arcade Legend if you download that. So they've been in partnership with that. And essentially, it includes Tourist Trap, where the other 3 courses, the OG courses, they just say coming soon. So I think that's just there. I don't think he's planning to add more courses in there, but you never know. You never know. If you don't have the game though, you can also just play it in your browser, which I've done. It's at walkaboutminigolf.net. Walkaboutminigolf.net. So you can just. I'm not sure if that works on the phone, but it definitely works on the computer. Samson, tell me about this before you drink your beer here. Have you played this?
Yes, a very watery beer. I played a few holes of this for sure. It's interesting, to say the least.
Did you play it on Arcade Legend or just?
No, I just played it on my browser.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it plays like Walkabout. If you know the course, it's very cool. You're like, yeah, this is neat, but it's not the way I'm gonna play Walkabout mostly. Yeah.
So it's top down, and it kind of plays like a arcade golf game where you have to drag your cursor on the actual ball itself. And it's cool, like you said, it's cool because it has all 18 holes of Tourist Trap, all 2D, and the first 2 simple holes are very simple, with this design, but I think is it hole number 3 or hole number 4 on Walkabout Tourist Trap, where you have like 4 different chutes that you can put the ball through, and the way that all works is really cool to see it in 8-bit style, top down. So I definitely suggest that you go give it a shot. Walkaboutminigolf.net. I only played probably 6 holes and such, and I was like, okay, I got the idea here, but go for it. Just play the full 18. It has all the sound effects too, so if it doesn't have the background music, but it does when you're in the cabin at the start, but not when you're actually playing the course. But it does have the sound effects. Like if you get a bogey, the clapping is very small. If you get a birdie, it's very high, all that stuff. So it does have all of that, and it works perfectly fine, which is a really fun little game. So, and a really fun little tie-in for their 8-bit course that they just dropped as well. So definitely check that out on walkaboutminigolf.net. Samson, let's round off part 1 with some game updates. What's been happening this week?
Yeah, we got just a couple Halloween updates I want to get in here because I played the Puzzling Places Halloween puzzle. It is a Halloween dance floor with a Halloween band playing, and I did about the 50 piece, and it takes about 10 minutes to do. Because that's how much time I wanted to spend on doing a puzzle at that time. But it's pretty cool. The the dancers look very good. They're all in costumes. The lighting's super cool. It's kind of a dark purplish, and yeah, it's a good vibe. Good vibe. Recommend it.
Nice. Do we
And
have
then,
anything else? Yeah.
yeah, we do. I'm glad you bring that up. Synth Riders also has a Halloween update. They're going to have a free Halloween song that is approaching. So fire up Synth Riders on October 31st and look for specials in the music pack lineup.
Nice. I'm assuming that's right up your alley right there. Look, I mean, Americans love Halloween. You guys love it.
Is that an American thing?
It's an American thing, yeah. I mean, I think it's a Canadian thing too. I think it's a North American thing. The Halloween in the UK is definitely not as big. People still do it, but it's nothing like you guys do. It's crazy. Yeah,
we do like our candy.
Yeah, you like your candy, you like your decorations and such. Yeah, it's definitely foreign to me in terms of how much, like, we'd know Halloween, like, obviously people trick or treating and such, but maybe you put on a horror movie or something like that, but that's about it. But here it's just like the decorations. It feels like Christmas in terms of all the decorations. It's mental.
I do see a lot of them. Do you see a lot of the giant skeleton?
Yeah, giant skeletons. Yeah. I mean, I'm in Toronto, so I'm in an apartment complex, so it's not as much in the city. But I remember in Vancouver, because I was in residential where all the houses are. And yeah, like giant cats, giant skeletons, spiders across the street. So I'd walk the wrong.
You must have loved that.
Oh, every time I'd see one on the side, I would be like, I know it's obviously just a toy, but I'm not walking on that side of the street, or I'm not crossing there. I'm going around the block. It's bad. It's bad. So yeah, very, very good. All right, that'll do for part one. Part two, let's talk about what we've been playing. Let's get into that. So we'll see you in part two.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
Welcome back to part two, what we've been playing. Samson, let's go to you first here. Give us a couple or one of the games that you've been playing this week.
Well, let me lead with Batman, because I played about 3 hours or so, and I feel like I've only just gotten to the title screen, a little bit past it maybe, where it says Batman Arkham
Shadow.
Yeah.
I don't know how you've played 3 hours and only got that far.
Well, Dan, I'm not very good.
Okay.
How many times have you died?
I've died like once.
I think I've died at least 4 times.
Are you playing hard?
No, hell no. I get so overwhelmed in combat and I forget to use my items. Then I'm just like, wait a minute, I'm not playing a brawler, I'm Batman. And then I take out my things and I start using them. But yeah, it always takes me a death to remember that I'm Batman.
So the armed goons are the ones that are getting you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's the armed ones.
Yeah, it's well, actually, we've not talked about Batman. Obviously, I know Mike had some early access of it and talked about it last time on the show. But let's go back a second. I know obviously you played 3 hours is a good chunk. I think it's like a 10 to 13, 14 hour game depending on you.
It set them like 17%.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm on a similar. I think we're at a similar stage. I feel like maybe I'm just a little bit ahead of you, but maybe you are just a bit ahead of me. I don't really know. I've only played it for 2 days, so I've not had too much time with it. But first of all, Samson, let's dive back. Let's go back a bit and initial impressions. What do you think of the game?
What do I think of the game? I'm enjoying it. I sometimes glaze over during these cutscenes of stories, but I'm having fun most of the time. I have gotten stuck a couple times also. That's also added to my playtime.
Yeah, I did too.
Where I'll be like, I gotta go up. I gotta go up. Where do I go? And then it's a grate in the corner that I gotta move.
Yeah.
That I just like don't think to look around. I forget that I'm playing a video game. Try to stubborn my way through. But overall, having a good time. Got to get back into it. It's a workout though. I'll finish a fight and I'll be out of breath. Oof.
Oh, it is. Fun. So I remember, and I don't know if you've changed this before Batman came out, but you not played any of the Arkham games before, right?
I have not. What have you been upgrading?
Oh, interesting. I've only upgraded twice. I upgraded my stealth, so I'm quieter when I'm walking, and then I also upgraded one of the combat ones. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's one of the combos or something like that. How about you? Do you remember?
I remember. I upgraded my batarang twice. I can now throw 3 of them.
Oh, fancy. Yeah. I'm only on one, unfortunately.
I figured it was a good way I could start a battle with a group of them. Stun 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was a good choice.
So I've played the Arkham games. I've played. Funny enough, the one that I haven't played is the one that this is kind of like a sequel of, which is Arkham Origins. But I've played the other 3, the original 3 in the end of the day. This game is as soon as I put the headset on and went in, it was exactly like if I had just stepped into the first game of Arkham Asylum. Mm-hmm. Everything feels the same. Obviously the art style and such, but everything feels the same down to the atmosphere, the graininess of what it looks like, how it feels as you're walking around and such. And even how, in terms of how people say it's an amazing looking game. I think it's a good looking game. It's just amazing amount of detail, more than anything.
In those Arkham games, are there areas where you can climb just the wall?
No.
Okay.
No, so there's it was very similar to the Arkham Shadow, where there's some places that you can use the grapple gun to go up of. There's a lot of crates, not crates, a lot of what do you call them? Air vents where you would open them and go through. So no, there's not really. You can't really climb, to be honest. Maybe a couple things, but you're not really climbing. You're basically using your grapple gun to get higher and such, and gliding across and all that stuff.
I love the glide.
Yeah, the glide's cool, where you have to hold both of the triggers, your index finger triggers, and then you just lift your cape up as your Dracula. Just imagine that, and that's exactly how you kind of glide over, which is really cool. My initial impressions, Samson, I think this is one of the best VR games, bar none, in terms of how immersive and how it's the reason why this is one of the best is because of this game is going to hit the mainstream big time. It's what Assassin's Creed kind of should have been. Assassin's Creed, for whatever reason,
Batman's bigger than Assassin's Creed.
It is, but Assassin's Creed's quite big too, and Assassin's Creed is a very good game. I never actually finished it in the end of the day. I think I only had an hour or 2 left. I was right at the end, but I actually never finished it. And the biggest problem with Assassin's Creed was the combat was kind of crap. So every time you engaged in combat with the sword fighting, it wasn't good at all. This game
you're meant to be stealthy.
I know you're meant to be self, but there are aspects where you will need to bring your sword out, and it's frustrating when you bring it out. So you kind of try and be stealthy instead, and like we mentioned before, like with the draw distances, the people are kind of stuttering. It's a game that's made for Quest 2, and it's unfortunate that they didn't make it for Quest 3. Like Batman is Quest 3 exclusive, 3S of course as well. Although some person has got it running on Quest 2 and such that we've seen. But this game, the best thing about this game is the combat by far. The combat is perfect.
It feels good.
It's perfect. So this is the thing, right, Samson? When Arkham Asylum came out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, that it was amazing, like one of the best superhero games ever made, and we've not had any good ones for a very long time on the consoles. And the biggest thing that came from that was the combat, because that was the combat where you'd press the square button or the X button on Xbox, and you'll just press it a bunch of times, and it's just doing combos, beating everyone up and such. And you can press the triangle button to like counter, like you can counter in Arkham Shadow.
Yeah, when you see the blue.
Exactly, same kind of thing. But you're just you know, there's a few combo buttons that you can press, but you're just kind of just button mashing the square button. That's all you're doing, and it's like bang bang bang, and it just feels amazing. And they've captured that so perfectly in this game.
How many times do you screw up because there's some of those that I screw up like every time.
Quite a few times.
You have to do.
A few times. I'm definitely not perfect at it yet. I don't know if you've tried the challenges. So outside the story, there's a challenge mode where you could do combat challenges where it's like just beat up as many people as you can and try and get bigger combo at a certain time and such. I've not tried that yet, but if you were to do it, I'm sure like you'll get better at it. But with people who have not played Batman yet, so the way you do the combat is all your movement, you don't have to worry about movement. It's all through your punching. So when you look at someone coming at you, there's a punch symbol. So you swing a punch and then you'll go straight towards him. And then various things come on screen. So it might be arrows where, okay, you punch with your right arm because it's pointing, across his jaw. And if you do it wrong, then you break the combo streak. There might be just like points on the body or something that you got to hit in a certain sequence. There might be just like a big ball in the front and you just got to keep going bang, 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 over and over again. And then the best thing about this is that when someone's coming at you from outside of your view, so whether it's behind you, to the right of you, to the left of you, but you can't see it, obviously, because you're in first person view, there's a blue arrow, there's a blue like arm that comes up on your screen, and you have like a little timer basically. And then as soon as you hit your arm to the right, if it's coming from your right, or to the left, that coming from your left, you switch straight to that next person, start beating them up. It is amazing. It is so good.
You don't even really think of it as the movement, but yeah, that is definitely the way to describe it. You're just moving by punching.
You're moving by punching. And then there's more stuff. Like, you can do that and you'll get through the story and you'll be absolutely fine. But you'll start discovering things. I don't know if you've noticed, Samson, but I'm doing things by mistake. So sometimes I'm jumping and hitting them from the air. Sometimes I'm grabbing them.
I've never done that.
Yeah, I've done that a few times, and I think it's when you just press the trigger button at the same time. But I think it's something that you'll get taught later on. But for some reason, I'm just throwing my arms like crazy, and I'm jumping and going in the air, coming down on them. Sometimes when you're doing a takedown, they're on the ground. You go up to them, you have to punch them like 4 times in the head, and then you got to bash your fists like King Kong, and then sometimes you grab their knee and then you don't actually do it with your knee, obviously, without leg tracking, but you just bring your hands down, all of a sudden your knee hits them in the jaw and such, and it's amazing. It's the best part of the game, and I give the combat a 10 out of 10. It's like the combat alone, it's a 10 out of 10. It's so freaking amazing and so satisfying, and like you said, it's a workout. It's kind of thrill of the fight in the way. But it does your movement so perfectly. This is the best part. Like the game the game itself so far, I'm early into it and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the story. It's very obviously linear, and there's only so much you can do with a Quest 3 because you have to keep things contained. So it is very similar to Arkham Asylum, where everything is quite contained. It wasn't an open world like the other two games were. And I have no problem with that. They have collectibles with like the Rat King, where there's little rats that you have to collect.
The radios.
The radios and such. And that's all fun and games as well. And I haven't got up to a boss fight yet. I think it's coming. I'm pretty sure it's like round the corner, but I haven't come up to one yet. So I don't know what that's like. And, I'll share thoughts again later. But Samson, the combat is phenomenal. It's so good. I can't stop. And then you can obviously use your cape to like stun them a little bit. So
I do that a lot by accident.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea to do. Have you come close to hitting anything in your room at all?
No, I play on a mat.
Yeah, it's fair. I've not come close. I mean, now I've got my I can see everything, but I just normally just stay straight and just kind of move the camera a little bit, just so I'm always forward facing. But I can see people getting really into it and then hitting their wall. It's not like Gone or anything like that, but like I can see people doing it.
Yeah, quick turning. Yeah.
Especially people new into VR who are not really spatially aware. Like I can see them hitting things. The fact that this game is free if you've just bought a Quest 3 or a 3S2 is insane.
It's wild.
It's insane. I don't know. Is there any other thoughts in the game? I don't know what else to say. The combat's phenomenal. Combat.
It's fun. Definitely worth it.
Just a quick thing on the graphics. The graphics, actually, no, two more things. The graphics, there's a lot of people online saying the graphics were amazing, one of the best looking games on Quest. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a good looking Quest game. It's the amount of detail which is really impressive, because it makes you feel like you're in that world. Obviously, you're in contained areas, but it's the amount of detail which is the impressive thing. There is better looking games on Quest 3. This is not the prettiest game by far. I saw someone, I forget their name now, on Twitter.
There's not much better looking.
There's not much, but like I think I remember Asgard's Wrath, for example, being pretty. Maybe it felt prettier because there's more light in that game, so it feels a bit more. I'm not too sure. By no means it doesn't look crap. It's a good looking game. I'm just saying a lot of people are saying it's the best ever, and I'm not too sure if I agree on that one. But character models look really good though. I'll give them that. And being in detective mode is quite fun. What was I going to say? I forgot what I've got my train of thought now. Someone on Twitter said to download or buy the Quest. Oh, what's it called? There's something, I forget what it's called. For some reason I'm blanking. I'm gonna have to write this down and
the
talk to you about
optimizer
it.
tool thing?
Yeah, that's it. The optimizer. Have you got the Quest optimizer?
No.
So the Quest optimizer is done by somebody. I think we spoke about it a long time ago in a different podcast. But basically, I think he charges like $11.99 US for it. It was on sale for $5. You had put price down, so I was like, I'll go get it. I haven't put it on my Quest yet, but you can sideload it to your Quest, and then essentially it allows you to change the settings of a game. So you can pretty much like basically overclock it and such like that to make the textures better and such. What I see online is that some people have done that so they have presets for a bunch of different games. I don't think Batman's got a preset yet, but one person said they tuned it up with the optimizer with Batman and it looked amazing. They like it. So to them, it was a blurry mess before. I don't think it's a blurry mess. I don't know where they've got that from, to be honest. But they've just tuned it up and it looks phenomenal. Downside is that your battery life gets absolutely destroyed. You can play it for like 30
already
minutes.
is.
Yeah, do you see the battery life going down a lot?
I noticed the Bobo is drained.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I've played for an hour max and then I put it down and then I come back to it later on. So I don't really notice it. But yeah, it's a phenomenal game. Let us know, people in the comments and YouTube or the Discord and such. Let us know what you think, because obviously I've been away, so I've not really heard much about it. And the game only came out like a week or so ago as well. But has anyone picked up Batman? I'm sure a bunch of you have. Like, are you enjoying it? I think if you played Arkham, you really appreciate it a bit more because it feels exactly how you played Arkham back when it started, and it's like I've just been transported in that PS3 game. But you don't need to play it either. Like, it's an amazing game. So yeah, anything else, Samson, on Batman before we move on?
No.
No. Okay, what else you got going on?
What else we got going on? Got into Hyperdash a bit more. Great fun. It's still got the Halloween event going on, I believe. But yeah, just fast pace 5-on-5 shooter. Though they do have everybody for themselves deathmatch as well. But we play global chat, and it just feels like the old Halo 2 days. Great time.
Nice. It's a good time right there.
Yeah. Got into Breachers, another 5-on-5. This time the more of a, Rainbow Six Siege type. And also a great time. Crushed it. But we've been doing a lot more Control Point, which is a game mode where you control the points around the map and for a certain amount of 60 seconds, I think, each one.
Oh yeah, is that
45.
like domination in Call of Duty? Those kind of things.
Something like that. Yeah.
You have to hold, and then the other team can capture it and such and all that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, I played it in Call of Duty. Had a great time with domination. So
it's a good one. Dan, I've gotten into Trombone Champ a bunch, and it is a blast of a time. And I really want a trombone attachment now because I find that I like move my hand around.
Yeah.
And I want to just keep it on a slide. But
can you get a trombone attachment?
I don't see one out there in the real world. No.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just I remember the archery game with the archery attachment.
Yeah, exactly. If they could have it, Trombone Champ can have it.
Of course, but yeah, this is on Steam, right? Because on Quest, I don't think it comes out till the end of November.
No, I've been playing it on Quest.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't come out. I've got early access here.
There's no embargo?
No.
Okay, good.
Not until about the late game content.
Okay. Continue.
Yep. Gotten into more Demeo Battles on the Quest.
Wait. Tell me more about Trombone Champ.
Oh, you want? I mean, I said it all. It feels great. Feels like you're playing the trombone. It's a blast of a time. It's got all the songs. I'm pretty certain all the songs I remember.
What's the songs like? What kind of music we got?
What kind of music? It goes all over. Oh Susanna, Oh Canada.
Any more O's?
I can
see you having a good time with that. Yeah, fair enough. It does seem like a perfect game for VR. To be honest,
it feels way more natural playing like I'm pretending to play trombone than it did playing with a mouse and clicking.
You just move the mouse up and down? Is that what you do?
Yeah, you go up and down and you click. Yeah.
Yeah, this is way better. This is like what it's meant to be.
Though I do find my like I have to change what finger I blow with because it gets tiring to continuously blow with the same finger.
How do you blow? Do you have to press the trigger and such, or
you could either press the trigger or A or B, I think, or A or X. I don't know. It's just like all the buttons basically blow.
Fair enough. Cool. All right, what else you got going on?
Well, Demeo Battles trying to unlock more characters in my Quest version as I prepare to take on Noble Squashy in a few one-on-one VR games. And Demeo Battles is one of my choices, so nice. I've been trying to practice a little.
Very good.
Yep. 11 table tennis. Dan, I got into a little situation at work where I couldn't go into a building because there were firefighters there, so I started playing some 11 table tennis just out there in the open, and when they let me in, they showed some interest in the Quest. So, nice. Of course, I let one of them hop in, and he was like, whoa, there's a table tennis thing right here. And he hit the ball once, and then he had to go. But he might have been sold. Who knows?
just showing the firefighters a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Don't take that out of context. And I kind of smashed drums a bunch. Love playing this in mixed reality. It's great. The drums are just coming at you. Love all of the DLCs. I've been, Blink 182, all the small things. Zombie by the Cranberries.
Nice.
Papa Roach. What's that? The most famous.
Cut my life into pieces. Yeah.
This is
whatever
Last
that one.
Resort.
Last Resort. That's the one.
There we go. I've been just smashing those drums.
Nice.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can smash that like button.
Nice little little plug there.
Bigscreen Dan, two FMV movies, which is full motion video, in Bigscreen with a crew of about 5 to 10 people probably.
Mm-hmm.
First one was called The Bunker, and this took place in basically a dude is in a bunker for his entire life, and you're trying to escape this bunker at some point when something goes awry. But this one kind of played more like a point and click adventure than it did an FMV movie, because the next one, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good, like plot wise, pretty good. As long as you know what you're getting into here, with you got to click around some pause scenes to see everything.
Do you have to pay for these or?
Yeah, I bought them.
Yeah,
I bought them on Steam. They're basically Steam games, if you will.
Got it.
And the next one, Bloodshot, this one played like a movie. This was a movie that you had to make one of two decisions during this plot, where it would you'd go one of two ways basically, and you could make the wrong choice, and then not find out it was the wrong choice until a little bit later, which actually could also happen in the bunker.
Nice.
There were a couple timed ones where you had to click, and I missed it. But
nice.
Anyway, Bloodshot is it's like an influencer battle royale, real life, and we died a few times, but it's very campy, and I really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it.
Would you recommend that one over Bunker, or
I enjoyed it more than the Bunker, but I imagine there's people out there that would enjoy the Bunker much more than Bloodshot. They're very different vibes. The Bunker felt more like a psychological thriller type of deal, whereas Bloodshot was like campy action movie, ridiculous, over the top.
I got it. Nice. I guess I can't really play them because they're on Steam. The Steam.
And you got to get your big screen going. You can join.
You can do big screen offline now. I didn't put it in the news, but you can. Not offline in terms of you don't need a PC to stream and such, right? There's ways to do it. I forgot to include it, so we'll have to talk about that next week. But as I've not got any of the details, but you can do big screen now without needing a PC to kind of stream stuff as well, which is really handy. Like you can have a party and such where you always need a PC before.
I think it was $2 a day or something per month.
Yeah, there's some sort of subscription.
$10 per month, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I totally forgot to put that in, but alas, here we are.
Dan, I got 2 more games, and one of them we played, but I'm going to do Does It Stack? Got in for about 25 minutes or so.
Nice.
Simple puzzler. It's got 4 colors of things. You've got to pile them up to a certain height. The same color things can't touch, or else they'll blow up and destroy your thing. And I am not very good.
It's hard, isn't it? I've played this one before, and it's hard.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's hard because you get some really obscure items, and they don't stack well.
Yeah, exactly.
It took me ages to realize the 2 colors blow up. Like, I did not know that for a long time, but
you just happened to not do it.
Yeah, it just happened. No, I'd do it and it'll blow up, and I have no idea why it's happening. So I'm really confused.
God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, and then the last game,
8-Bit Lair.
8-Bit Lair. Now, Samson, for the whole time you've been talking, I've been hiccuping big time. I think I spoke so much about Batman.
The hiccups aren't real.
And I've been
You don't have
hiccuping
them.
over
You
and
don't
over
have
again.
them.
So
They're
you
not
might
real.
need to you might need to talk for the most of this one, but apologies. Like if you're on the video podcast, if you watch this whole section with Samson talking, you'll see me jumping up and down in my seat like I keep doing. I'm like hiccuping on the side. But all right, Samson, Walkabout 8-bit Lair.
Just tell yourself the hiccups aren't real.
Hiccups
You
aren't
don't
real.
have them.
The hiccups are
And you
the
don't
worst.
have them.
Worst time to get hiccups. I had hiccups earlier today as well in the back.
8-bit Lair. 8-bit Lair is takes place in the 80s. So the first layer was 60s, then the next layer was the 70s. This layer is in the 80s, and it is an arcade.
I did not realize that they did that.
Yep, there you have it.
There you go. That's why you listen to the show.
That's why you listen to this or the Upload VR's talkabouts. Catch that news in either location. But
nice.
I guess I'll spoil some things here. There's a new mechanic, if you will. A lot of the holes have a brick breaker effect brick.
Yeah.
So when you hit it, it'll bounce, your ball will ricochet off.
Ricochet hard as well. Like they sometimes smack the ball for miles. But yeah.
It gives it some pop. And if you get them together to line up, like if you slam it into one, it'll go, baby. It'll go.
It will go. It was cool because the brick breaker is not the only thing. There's also coins.
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
So the first floor is more of an office building where this you learn about this brick breaker mechanic. Second floor is an arcade, and that's where you start collecting coins. So instead of hitting it into a hole, you've got to collect all the coins that are on each hole.
Yeah. And there's
then there's a third mechanic, if you will. But
before we get there, because we're on the second floor here, the arcade.
That's where the arcade is.
There's 4 of them, I believe. There might be a couple more, but I'm pretty sure there's 4. You can actually play.
Any machine that you see as light that's on, you can play.
You can actually play. Yeah, you can put your. You don't have to press any buttons. You put your your hand over like the joystick, and then you can control it. The
controls are sketchy.
They are difficult, but I appreciate that you could do it. Like you're not going to sit there playing for a long time, but you can do it. Definitely. It's cool that they added that in. Really cool. Before we get to the third floor, because things change throughout the whole course as well. You've got this little NPC or whatever, just always talking to you. So every hole they're talking to you and such.
You're sort of learning more of the story, or there's a subplot, if you will.
Yeah.
Dan, have you gotten the putter? No, you haven't.
I haven't done the hard mode yet.
The putter is freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know how the one, I think it was Upside Down, where it wasn't all attached?
Yeah.
Yep. So this kind of has that similar effect. And it kind of reminds me of something you'd see in the Museum of Modern Art. It's chef's kiss. Beautiful. I'm using it now. It's replaced my Gandalf staff finally.
There you have it, Edward. Holy moly, you just created a putter, or whoever created the putter this time round. I know Edward likes to hide the golf balls around, but you've just finally made Samson, out of all of these courses, he's finally changed his putter. That's how good it is. Incredible. The Upside Down one's actually one of my favorite putters. So I haven't done the hard mode yet. I've unlocked it. Easy mode, I got -9. That was my last best score. But I think I can beat it. It takes a little while. The thing is, so the whole 13 things change. You end up going into a portal, which takes you to brings you inside the game. And I can't remember what they call it, because there's like VR goggles that he's working on, and I forget what they're called. I think it's called the visor or something like that. But you go into the world, and the NPC who's been following you around, he becomes the boss. essentially, and you can see he's capturing people, and it's a really fun story actually. But then all of a sudden, all the rest of the holes, so 13 to 18,
They're
I
huge.
don't know if it the same for you, Samson. I don't know if it's me, just I don't know. Maybe I not got this right, but the floor is much more slippery in that
Yeah, I
one.
mean they're just huge. It just gets so grand, and you've got to hit it so far, and you can get stuck. But at the same
Mhm.
time, if you play it well, oh, if you play those hills, woo, you got it, baby. Or
Oh
those
yeah,
bounces.
yeah.
There's the one where you have to, kind of like Venice, where you have to hit, I guess you in Venice, and probably this one you don't have to hit the middle. But if you hit the middle, it bounces, and it's just
Mhm.
floating there. Gosh, I miss that one a lot.
Yeah. And then the end. I mean, we'll spoil the whole thing. It's been out for over a week now, and obviously, if you don't want spoilers, you can skip ahead on this one. But the 18th hole is so cool. It's a
Yeah,
very simple
boss
hole,
fight.
but it's so cool that they've done like an actual boss fight. The music changes, and you have all the animation and such that of that. Like it's a lot's going on
So
in this one.
on hard mode, it plays about the same, except there are two rows of blocks circling him, so it's harder to
You gotta
hit.
time it. Yeah, you gotta time it. It's also it feels like they haven't, but it feels like they've collaborated with synth writers when you go
Yeah,
into
it
that
does feel
13th
very
hole and such. Everything's very synthwave. It's kind of
Sonic.
like our intro to the podcast as well on the video version, where you see the synthwave and the sun and all that stuff. It's kind of similar. So maybe it's also just LTO. That's what
Yeah,
13th
we
hole.
should settle out of court.
Yeah, we should. We should. We did not give him permission to use our intro
I
video for
do.
the course.
I do want to shout out Noble Squashy, who beat me in hard mode on his stream. YouTube, I think /Noble Squashy. It beat me by 4. I fell apart in the back 9, but it was a good. It was a good round. It was a good round. He played very well.
Yeah.
Nice job.
But overall, yeah. So far, like I said, I haven't played the hard mode. I unlocked it. I went in, and it doesn't look too different. Obviously, it's much harder, and I need to play it. But it is funny because like you defeat the boss in easy, and then as soon as you play the first, I was like, aha, I knew you would be back. And blah
Yeah,
blah blah. So it's like a whole story again. But I haven't done it personally yet. But obviously you played it, Samson. Is there any significant changes with the hard, or is it just a harder version
it's
basically?
mostly just harder. Mostly just harder. It like there's no real. You're inside, so there's no night. Like it is nighttime, I guess, outside, but you're still inside an office building and an arcade and all that.
Yeah, colors are a
But
bit
it
different,
does
but
get
that's about it.
harder. It does get harder. There's a skeleton in this one.
Ooh, don't say that. Let people find that one. Let people find that
I
one.
won't say where. Yeah,
But yeah, I've not played too much yet to give you like a proper review or anything like that. But I think this one's a really fun one. I mean,
it's
all
a
the
weird
layers are really
one.
fun.
It's a weird one that you could put a new person in.
Yeah, we on the surface you'll probably wouldn't want them to be. It's definitely more crazy golf than mini golf, shall we say? Um, I think this one might be out of the all the three all the three layers. I think this is the one that's most accessible. Out of I feel like the other two, the laser one actually could be quite accessible too. I feel like the
Yeah,
ice one with the penguins are very difficult for a lot of people. I feel
love
like
the ice.
I
I
love the
love the
ice.
layers now.
I love all three of them. I think they're fantastic courses. They're just a opportunity to have a bit of fun, with mechanics and such, and not overdo it, but just have a bit of fun. And I mean, when we do our inevitable like walkabout mini golf 2024 rankings, where we'll rank all of the courses that came out this year at around the holiday season. We'll have more. I'll play it way more by then and such, but another good sorry for the hiccup there, but another really good course by the walkabout team. Excellent stuff.
Apex.
All right, that will do for part 2. In part 3, I'm pretty sure the hiccups will continue, but we'll talk about the games out this week and the walkabout Standings. Almost did that without the hiccup, but we'll see you. We'll see you then.
Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show.
All right, welcome back to part 3, games out this week and the Walkabout Standings. Samson, kick us off with game number 1 of 3.
Game number 1 is Human Fall Flat VR. Human Fall Flat VR features an intuitive third-person view designed especially for VR headsets. Each controller you wield controls the respective arm of your human avatar, adding an unprecedented level of physicality to the best-selling game. The VR edition of Human Fall Flat includes all the levels from the game's original release, along with a wide selection of extra dreams created by some of the most talented community creators. From hazardous industrial zones to the slippery slopes of a snowy alpine wonderland, enjoy the sights and sounds of Human Fall Flat as you've never seen them before.
Samson, I have no idea what this game's about. And I looked at the trailer. I still don't understand.
It's kind of goofy.
It's like a physics kind of game.
I've never played it. Yeah. It's kind of physics based.
Yeah, it looks like somewhere
puzzles, physics puzzles.
Yeah, and you can just mess around with all the items in there and kind of get from A to B. But I couldn't tell you. I'm struggling. Like even now, I'm looking at the trailer again, and I still have no idea what this game is. There's a nice little art style, but that's about it.
Would you like me to do all of the game reads?
No, I'm gonna try it. Now, this might be difficult with the hiccups, but we're gonna do it anyway because it'll be comic for everybody. Underworld Overseer. Welcome to Underworld Overseer, the ultimate dungeon management experience in virtual reality. Take on the role of a powerful overseer tasked with building and managing your own sinister underground lair. Channel your inner evil genius as you design intricate dungeons, attract a variety of monstrous minions, set traps and cast spells to defend your domain against waves of adventurers. Embark on a journey through 18 uniquely designed levels, each demanding approximately 20 to 25 minutes of strategic gameplay. Prepare to outmaneuver your adversaries and overcome diverse challenges, requiring unconventional tactics and sharp decision-making skills to claim victory. Are you ready to embrace the darkness and rule over your own underworld kingdom? Jesus Christ, that was difficult. Cool. But Samson, are you ready to embrace the darkness? No.
I don't think I will. But I'm intrigued. Let's see. We'll watch some reviews and such.
It's a cool concept for a lot of people who are into that kind of game. Who are into. I think we spoke about this when it got announced, actually, or maybe it was in one of the showcases and such. But for people who are into like Dungeons and Dragons and in that kind of like world, this could be really appealing for them. It's a really cool idea. I think a lot of people are going to like it who are in that kind of niche, who enjoy these kind of.
If I can get a group in together, I could be talked into it for sure.
I think that's your answer.
I would never lead that. I would never lead that group, right?
No.
If somebody's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, this is not for me. I couldn't tell you anything about dungeons, so. Yeah.
Like if somebody was like, "Hey, come on over. I got a pizza and a movie." Yeah, sure. I don't really care what the movie is. I want to hang out with you.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, never mind. Moving on.
Third game, Triangle Strategy. Important, where you can apparently vote. Important decisions that will decide the fate of the protagonist and his allies will be determined through a vote using the scales of conviction. For the player to assert their own opinion, they must convince their allies. Choices with a profound impact on the destinies of the group will likewise have a major impact on the story. This is an RPG game. There are also highly strategic battles. It will be crucial to use the terrain and differences in elevation to position yourself advantageously. Enjoy satisfying and challenging battles and strategy with great depth, with the ability to select from characters with uniquely different traits in your party formation, and gameplay systems that allow flanking the enemy to perform follow-up attacks, or using your allies' abilities to coordinate attacks. This one actually looks pretty interesting. It's a flat game,
Yeah.
and but it's more like plays like a diorama, I think, in VR type of deal. But it's still kind of cool to get that perspective and all that.
The art style is gorgeous too. Is the people
Yeah.
who did Octopath Traveler, which is a non VR game, but exactly the same art style. You can play this in mixed reality as well, so you can have the whole world just on your table if you wanted to. Yeah, it looks nice. Is this something that's more for you? It's not for me, but
I do want to try it, but I don't know that this is not a game. I do know that this is likely a game I would never finish. But I just want to see the world and be there. I just want
yeah, and see the art style in that world and such. Yeah, for sure. Very good. Okay, those are those 3 games that are coming out this week, and go for a walkabout because I can't talk anymore.
All right,
let's do the walkabout.
I am interested in one of those 3 games, I guess. Walkabout Standings. So last week was week 4. The courses were Widow's Walkabout Easy and Atlantis Hard with Low Gravity. And my God, was Atlantis Hard with Low Gravity so hard that I said, yeah, I'm good on doing a timed one.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, week 4. Easy course, top 3, Healing Entree, yours truly, and Rockin' Horse Brat, each with -10, -12, and -17, respectively.
Nice one.
Good
Second
job,
place
us.
for you.
Yeah. Widow's Walkabout. I like that one. It's a fun course.
It's a good one.
Really good. And Halloween mood. Ooh.
It's a beautiful course. I think it's one of their best. It's fantastic. Beautifully designed.
And
beautifully designed.
Dan, here we are in Atlantis Hard with Low Gravity, which was very hard. As you can see, the top 3, Liana with 1, Maestro with -2, and Rockin' Horse Brat somehow with -9. But look at that. Only 2 under par.
Yeah.
And I had 14. I nearly was behind Gilman.
Almost. Yeah, Gilman had 16.
There's a couple I blew up on, and just the low gravity is so hard to read in the water. Oh, I was drowning. It was brutal. So congrats to those top 3. That was a tough one.
That's a really tough one. To get -9 is ridiculous, to be honest. But yeah. See, Kimi Kai was 3. Dave.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
5. Oh, what's up? Oh, Samson's made a boo-boo. He's got the scores wrong.
No boo-boo. I was just I wanted to double check because it was so close here in the top of the charts here with the races, because in hard mode we had Kimi Kai in first place with 6 minutes 57 seconds, just barely beating out Healing Entree with 6 minutes and 59 seconds. And that was so close.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh, you know what? Kim's is an 8 and I misread it.
Oh, okay. So
Healing Entree won with 6 minutes and 59 seconds.
Fair enough. Yeah, we got these numbers wrong. That's fine. These are long.
Well, here's the thing. The photo is so tiny, and my eyes, the 6 and the 8, look so similar.
Oh,
but there you are. Healing Entree was 6 minutes and 59 seconds. That one's accurate. Healing Entree is a speed demon.
A speed demon. Normally you're
absolutely nuts.
Did you not do the hard one?
I didn't, because I got +14 and I was frustrated and said no. But I did do the easy course. But Rockin' Horse Brat actually won the easy course there with 6 minutes and 22 seconds in Widow's Walkabout.
Wow, and you came second with 6:32.07, and Kimi Kai came third at 6:32.70. So, what was that? I can't do that math, but it's
I
about
might have to
6/10.
check that. It might be 8 again. I'm not gonna lie.
We don't know the times for this. And let's just say Rock and Horse Brat won the easy on time and Healing Entree won the hard on time. Everyone else times, we don't know.
No, that's a 6. I confirmed. 6.
The Samson's eyes are giving way.
I
Very
opened
good.
in browser. Anyway,
But-
in week 5, the final courses for this season 6, Dan. I think I'm gonna mix it up though now in season 7. We'll see. Stay tuned. There's always a week off after this.
Mm-hmm.
But week 5, we're staying in the Halloween spirit with Atlantis Easy Low Gravity and Original Gothic Hard, my favorite course. Gonna take us from Halloween into Christmas.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, one of the
You
best.
Mariah Carey.
One of the best courses. One of the best courses for sure. Very good. Very good. There we have it. There is the podcast. We are back to normal. But once again, shout outs to Mike who filled in for the last 2 episodes over October. Thanks for everyone's patience, because obviously there was a couple weeks that we missed in there. But we'll be back every single week now, all the way to the end of the year, including the holiday break and such. And with that, that's everything. We'll see you next week. Samson, any words of wisdom, or you ran out of these 40? Yeah, go on.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I had the fortune cookie. Yeah, I totally forgot about it when I was hosting. Sayonara.
There you go. All right. See you later, everyone.